looking at a piece of property that's occupied by a tenant. This is Rick Jarman, Real Estate Old School. Let me tell you what I like to do. If I'm looking at a piece of property that's got a tenant in it, I want the tenant there when I go to look at it. I know you may think, well, why would you want the tenant there? I'm going to tell you why. I usually take me a clipboard and I go in there and I tell the tenant, I let them know right off the bat that I'm an investor and I'm looking at this piece of property to buy and keep as a rental. And I go asking the tenant questions. Is there anything you don't like about the house? How's the landlord took care of you? What's wrong? Anything you're unhappy about? Let me tell you, that tenant will spill their guts. They will tell you everything you want to know and don't want to know. I guarantee you. Now, when I buy a house with a tenant in it, a lot of times the tenant will stay. But most of the time when you're buying a piece of property that's tenant occupied, the landlord hadn't been being a good landlord, or they're tired of being a landlord, the rent's too low, or maybe they've got it paid off and you know whatever they're getting in makes them happy. But most of the time when you're looking at it, when that lease is up, you're gonna have to raise the rent. And I don't know how it is in all states, but of course in Alabama, you have to honor that lease until it runs out. But if that rent's too low when it runs out, I send them notice I'm raising it. And that's usually when I lose them. But that's okay. It gives you time to go in there and fix up a few things, get it where to bring top money. But the tenant being there, especially if it's listed with a real estate agent and you're wanting to look at it, tell them you would like for the tenant to be there. Request that. You can find out a lot of stuff. But you know, us as real estate agents and brokers, you know, you're taught if a person is looking at a piece of property to buy it for their personal use, you don't really want the seller there. It's best the seller and the purchaser never meet, because the seller's gonna be too busy trying to tell them everything and sell the house itself when you need your customer to be able to look around without being interrupted. But that's when they're buying a piece of property for their own personal home. But when it comes to rental, it's a totally different game. Like I said, you want to know everything you can find out about it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And that tenant will tell you. They'll tell you. So anyway, that's what I had on my mind this morning to tell y'all about. Actually, I had somebody DM me, was asking me a question. I said, that'll make a good video. Talk with you later.